as we're going to have a few people that will live stream for everybody else on the planet that can't be here today. So in consideration for the crypto fam worldwide, please everybody put your phone on flight mode and enjoy the show.
So, welcome back, everybody. I think nobody actually had a coffee, but I like that you all are on beer. Yeah, you did? Great. Yeah, 2 coffees. Nice, nice. So, yeah, let's continue our program. We're going to live stream, so it's cool that the rest of the community who don't get to be here today can actually watch the next part of it. Let me first introduce Derek Capo. He's the CEO of TokenPay, and he's going to tell you something more about that. So please give it up for Derek Capo.
Hi, everybody. Thanks a lot for having me here. Really appreciate it. It's been a long month for me. I've been, no joke, from Miami to Beijing, Shanghai, Manila, Seoul, Romania, and here. So I'm really excited to be here. This is the end of my trip, and the best place in the world is right here in Amsterdam, right? Yeah. So really happy that you all, guys all came out. This is one of the main reasons that we love the Verge community. We've been following it for a very long time. It's really awesome that you guys are here. Just the amount of love and just, you know, the way that we've been welcomed here has just been amazing. And it's not just here, it's been online, you know, the stuff on Telegram as well. So it's been an amazing ride so far, and we continue to work with that given the partnership that we've developed for the next few years, if not forever, right? All right, so let's get started. What I'm going to do today is really talk about, you know, what the vision is of TokenPay, what we've done, you know, talk a little bit about the team, and kind of, for the first time, actually really explain what we're trying to do, which is build this amazing ecosystem so that we can have Verge and TokenPay and potentially other coins that want to partner with all of us together to last for a very long time, okay? So just a little bit about us. We did our token sale about last year in December. We actually finished in about 2 weeks. We raised at one point about 2,000 Bitcoin, which is close to about $20-something million. We've actually ended up with more Bitcoin than we originally started because we actually did some hedging strategies, which basically means that we protected our downside when the Bitcoin went down. So we actually ended up with about another 400-something Bitcoin or so from when we originally started. So when we started, obviously, we had very similar privacy features, you know, to Verge, but one of the main difference that we have is we're proof of stake. We like proof of stake because it's energy efficient. We feel a lot of potential blockchains are going to move to proof of stake just given its energy efficiency. We see Ethereum do that. But, you know, that's kind of our strategy. We wanted to make sure that there was a mass appeal to all the people worldwide. You know, we have an amazing programmer that's actually a Telegram admin from Romania who got a Raspberry Pi for $10 and was able to start staking and receive coins, which is an amazing return, right? So, you know, there's many ways to earn TokenPay by just opening up your laptop and just start staking. So actually what I wanted to do is actually talk about our team. It's all about people, the people that we have involved in our community, but also the executives and you know, the people that are working with us. So we have a small little team in the US, including myself, a few other people. We also have a team in the Philippines. It's actually a little bit more than 10, so it's in total it's about 13, 14. Go to the next slide. We have actually a team from Costa Rica. In fact, we have one of our head developers here as well. He's helping us on one of our projects. We also have a team in Romania, like Romania. It's pretty cool people. But you know, the reality is we have teams from all over the world. We have people from Pakistan. We have people from Greece. We have people from Egypt. We have people all over, especially the Telegram. I mean, it's just amazing. We have 17,500 people Telegram, 23,400 maybe by now on Twitter. And it's amazing the global support that we've received, but also that we're receiving in the sense of contributions. This is why crypto will succeed. It's the community that's been formed by Verge in the beginning and then obviously helping us grow as we together grow as a larger community. But we're looking for people. So we're planning on hiring another 30 people full-time, part-time by the end of this year. And you'll see why. You'll see why we need people. This is extremely important. This is all about getting talent so this talent can help us move to the next level. Okay, this is how it works. It's all about all over the world and getting talent to move to the next level. You know, the difference between us is we don't have some major headquarters in some really expensive place like Silicon Valley and all the regulations there and all that stuff. We believe that we are a global force, and if we can work together, given all the technologies that we have, then we can do a pretty kick-ass fucking job, okay? So I believe... So it's really important that we help each other out, and if it's one thing, you know, if you're looking for a job, send us an email at team@tokenpay.com, and we'll go through our very strict interview process. I don't take that lightly, to be honest. All right, so what's our vision? You know, when we came together, we realized, what is it that's going to give us staying power? So my background is actually in finance. I actually worked at a hedge fund for about 4 years. In my job, basically every day, I analyze stocks and bonds. Believe it or not, I just made the rich richer, and I kind of hated that part of the job, but what I really liked was understanding businesses, understanding history, and understanding how things go up and how things go down. And one thing I noticed, the similarities between the dot-com bubble and what's happening now in the crypto space is that at the end of the day, there's only going to be a few that are going to survive. There is going to be a level of Armageddon one day. And believe it or not, the cause of that Armageddon is ERC-20. That's a fact. I truly believe that. The fact that you can start a coin in about 4 or 5 hours of development and be able to launch and raise 10, 20, 50, $100 million and convince people that this is, you know, the right thing to do, it's wrong. It's completely wrong. So I believe that there is going to be some level of Armageddon. I believe that it's extremely important that you partner with strong companies or strong blockchains that actually can survive. So we made the conscious decision to partner with Verge from the very beginning because we knew that was eventually going to happen. But apart from that, we realized that in order to have staying power, you needed to have an ecosystem. It's really difficult to walk into a very large corporation today and say, take TokenPay or take Verge. Extremely hard. We had a meeting with a small company yesterday, very big brand, I won't mention the name, and they were very conservative, and I get it. I've been in business since I was 15 years old. And the first thing they said is, I have no problem accepting crypto, but I do have a problem with paying my employees with crypto. They can't do it. They still need to pay their employees in fiat, euro, Swiss franc, whatever it is. And so we said, we have a plan in place. We have a plan in place, and we have vertical integration so that that can happen really easily with our ecosystem that we're building. And at the end of the meeting, they got more comfortable. It's a small business, but they got more comfortable. And they understand that crypto is going to happen. And for all, you know, I'm sure there's no doubters here, but the people that are on live stream, you have to understand, crypto's for real. And I always tell everybody, just one word, and everybody can completely understand. And I say the words Venezuela. When you have a country like Venezuela, that basically you have a government that's not doing a fantastic job with managing their economy, people now have a choice. They have a choice now of what they can do. They don't have to earn that currency. They can now mine, earn Bitcoin, and send it all over the world. That is a perfect use case, and it's not just happening in Venezuela, it's happening in other countries. That's why I truly believe that this is not a fad, that it's going to be around for a long time. So, what we're going to announce today, there's no real big announcement, but what we're planning to talk about today is what is our ecosystem, which we call the 3 pillars, or the 3 divisions of our mission of how we think we're going to be able to get this all together. So we have the financial division, entertainment branding division, and the people division. At the end of the day, we're still people. We still need many people to run the businesses. We're still not been automated by bots yet, right? All right, let's go to the next slide. Next one. So the first version or first aspect of this is merchants, which is basically kind of like a coin payments, PayPal. So basically what's going to work is you basically go in as a business, a consumer, mainly a business. You have a small business, you want to start collecting your cryptocurrency, you put in a plugin on your website, and you start collecting. But that's only the first part. That's only the first phase of the actual integration that's actually going to happen. All right? So what we see right now is with merchants, it's a little bit clunky. There's no banking integration. It's just collecting. You know what? That's good, but it's not enough. You know, anybody can right now put a QR code of their own personal wallet and be their own merchant services provider. Why give somebody else 0.5%? Doesn't make any sense. So the added value is the infrastructure that you put in behind that, okay? Another version of this is TokenPay escrow. Escrow system is something that a lot of companies, especially in the real estate industry, need. One of the biggest problems with crypto is the volatility of price. How can you assure that by the end of the deal closing, the price is going to be the same? So the way it's going to work is you're going to deposit crypto, you're going to convert it to a fiat, temporary fiat, and eventually you're going to convert it back to the actual crypto. But you'll have us as the third party that's holding that for X period of time, whether it's 1 week, 1 month, 2 months, etc. And we're going to have that type of third party to do that. Our competitor is going to be escrow.com. In fact, I tried to do a deal with escrow.com and got into a fight with them because they messed up something. And I was trying to recruit the lady that was helping. I was like, one day we're going to go after you. So it was really interesting. And coincidentally, it was to buy the domain tokenescrow.com, which is the irony of it all. All right, next slide. And of course, we're going to start building our own decentralized exchange. If you notice right now, most of the hacks that are happening right now are all going through the exchange. And the billions of dollars that have been hacked are all through the exchange. Mostly, probably 90-something%. Why? It's centralized. It's centralized. That's like Web 2.0. So we believe decentralization and make sure that people have their own privacy, their own coins, their own private addresses in their possession is extremely important. Now start to think about it for a second. Now we already have merchant services. Now you have an exchange. And eventually you're going to have the bank, which basically allows you to transition from the old world to the new world. Go to the next slide. We're also going to have an app called CoinTeller, which we haven't announced until today. CoinTeller is basically going to integrate about 10 exchanges worldwide or more, depending on the quality, so people can start trading very fast within that one app. So it's basically combining 5 or 10 exchanges, and you can, within all your portfolio, you can manage it all at one day. Once the exchanges allow, which EFIN will definitely allow that because we're decentralized, if you want to sell all your coins in one button, you can sell all your positions in one button and that's it. The whole point of this is so that you can have access to be able to do the things that you want to do every day. If you want to purchase an asset, if you want to purchase something really fast, you can all do that with our app. And the last... Another division, this is actually an existing division right now. The name of this company is called CoinLab, but this is a Swiss version of a CoinLab. There's actually an American version, but this is not it. It's a Swiss entity that's basically kind of like an investment bank. TOKENSUISSE basically gives us a lot of ability to convert massive amounts of fiat. If there's a huge multinational corporation that wants to convert $50 million, we can do it. They want to buy $50 million worth of crypto. We can do it through them. So we've purchased 10% stake with an option to buy up to 30%, depending on specific milestones and deadlines that they have to meet. With me, milestones, deadlines, if not, get out. That's the way it works. That's the way it is. The next one, the final one, is the bank. So what we've announced publicly is that we purchased 9.9% stake of a bank. Now we have the option to buy the rest. There are some other partners that are interested in purchasing the bank with us. We're looking for strategic partners. Some of them could be blockchain oriented. Some of them could be financial. Some of them could just be rich people that have connections. Believe it or not, that sometimes helps out. But WEG Bank, or this bank specifically, is what happens with the integration. You're a merchant, you receive crypto, and you make the power decision if you want to be able to convert in fiat or not. So you would open up a business merchant services account at the bank, and then you'd be able to do that to facilitate your business in crypto. So right now, the current bank actually is a property managed bank. Basically, they just issue loans for associations in Germany and collect some interest. And so eventually, they're going to start switching to what we're doing. So we're going to have just regular checking accounts that's linked to crypto, private label debit cards. So you're going to have your Verge debit card. Then you're going to have... And of course, we're going to have confidential debit cards as well. Right now, we're working and talking to the regulators of how we can actually do that. There is a limitation of how much that amount is, but the goal is that you can go to Verge, get your Verge, get an actual debit card that's anonymous, and you can actually use it for everyday purchases. And of course, a global ATM network. I'm not a guy, or the bank is not going to be one that's going to have 1,000 branches. I believe in having partnerships, working with other banks worldwide, and having ATM networks, because that's just a way of speeding things up. But let's be honest, a debit card is old technology. An ATM network is old technology. This is a fact. But you need this right now in order to transition to the future. I believe I've lived in the future. I lived in China 8 years. When I went in 2008, everything was cash. Everything was cash. Then after a couple years, it was debit card. and credit card. I was like, what's going on? This is like the States. And then within 3 years, by 2012 or so, WeChat came into play. Do you know how popular WeChat became? Does anybody know the original story of how it happened? Anybody? Nobody? Nobody can raise their hand? Okay, one guy knows. You know? So WeChat became popular because in the Chinese New Year, they went on to a TV station that everybody in all of China watches. And they created this game that if you shake your phone, you're going to receive a red envelope, a digital red envelope. And in that red envelope, you'll receive 5 cents, 10 cents, whatever it was. And the goal was that the more you shake, the more you received. And then eventually, you would have to share that to get more. So instantly, they got 50 million or 30 million subscribers in one day. It went from a chat app to a money app, to the point where now you cannot survive in China without that app. Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp, all those companies are going to have centralized apps. All of them. To the point where you can buy anything. In China, you can get somebody to come, wash your dog, order food, and get a clean lady appointment booked the next day. All within the app. This is what's happening. This is the future. So the reason why we present all of this stuff is because we realize that you need to transition from today to the next 5, 10 years from now. All right, next slide. So just going to go quickly through these slides, just talking a little bit. So obviously bank accounts is obviously one of the features. It's a little quickly. Obviously converting fiat to crypto and crypto back. Debit cards, like I mentioned before. Diversified assets. Here's one thing that we're going to do as well with TOKENSUISSE. In about 9 months after TOKENSUISSE has enough funds, there will be a brokerage firm legally registered in Switzerland that can actually convert and have basically ETFs and funds of not only coins, but for example, real estate, gold, silver. So if let's say you want to diversify your crypto temporarily to a gold fund, a stock fund, some small cap fund, because you realize crypto is one asset and there's other assets out there, TOKENSUISSE will be able to issue these. This is extremely important. This is where institutions come in. This is where people can now diversify. It's not all in just crypto. They can now diversify all of their assets. Next. The entertainment and branding division. The second reason why this is important is because you need consumption. I'm building all this infrastructure, but if there's no consumption, what's the point? You need people to start using crypto, not just hodling it, right? So we're going to start doing an actual casino called Token Gaming. Token Gaming is going to be an aggregator, which basically gets a lot of online casino games, puts it together, so if somebody somewhere around the world wants to start their own crypto casino, they would use us. So we own TokenGaming.com, and that's basically one of the portfolios that we're going to have. We also own a website called CryptoBet.com. It's a really good name. Cost us about 10 Bitcoin to buy that, when Bitcoin was 9,000 something. We're really good buyers of domain names, as you can tell. Me and my partner Charles are really good. Well, Charles is the genius in that, actually. The goal is we're going to have our own casino. So we're looking at buying licenses. We actually have a license right now with Curaçao, or in the process of getting it, because we acquired a company in Costa Rica that basically has all of these assets and networks. And eventually, we may look at Malta, because Malta obviously has greater jurisdictions than just Curaçao. Next slide. And the last one here is Token City, which essentially is a merchandise apparel. We figured that there's a good use case for people buying our nice, amazing shirts that we design every once in a while. And obviously other companies and other blockchains that want to design and put up their designs to be able to use it using crypto, along with our merchant services. This will only be crypto. We will not be accepting any fiat, dollars, or anything like that. And we also bought esports.io, which right now we haven't really officially released what we're going to do, but we're looking at potentially a few different business models that actually make sense. Okay, next one. And last but not least, the people division, the most important division. In order to start using crypto, you have to earn crypto. It's a big problem. If you're not earning crypto, if you're not paying your staff in crypto, there's no way they're going to have that adoption. So we're going to get a competing company to Fiverr and Upwork called TokenGig.com. So TokenGig will be so that if you're somebody that wants to earn, $5 worth or $50 worth of crypto for doing a service, graphic design, photography, whatever it is, You sign up to the website, you put in exactly what you're looking for, what's your price in crypto, and basically collect. If you want to use the banking system with our WEG bank, fantastic. If not, just keep collecting crypto. Again, do you see it now? Do you see the ecosystem? It starts from the integration, vertical integration. Then you start putting in things that start getting the consumption. But then you also have to make sure that people are earning it. That's how you continuously build this vortex to get people inside our ecosystem. And we're partnering with Verge and, of course, TokenPay with us and Bitcoin. So when people start using all these services, those are the only 3 coins that they'll be allowed to use. So our success actually multiplies the success of TokenPay and Verge. This is why it's extremely important to have partners. Now, of course, we're always open to having more partners, but they have to be strategic. They have to make sense. If not, there's just no point. So, some pending possible deals. Some of them are public, some of them we'll be announcing today. So we've signed an NDA with Litecoin Foundation. But I cannot tell you exactly what that deal is with Litecoin Foundation. We'll plan to announce that within maybe the month of June. Let's put it that way. But it's very strategic, extremely strategic. And we think that the Litecoin Foundation and obviously dealing with Charlie Lee is very reputable. And I think it's extremely important that we continue to work with people that are reputable in this space. Because at the end of the day, in an Armageddon, you need to make sure you've got, you've got a good force field to protect you. All right, we also have an NDA signed with iRemit. That's why I went. So iRemit is actually one of the largest remittance companies, if not the Philippines, if not one of in the world. For all of you that don't know what remittances is, basically if you're a Filipino overseas worker, meaning that you were born in the Philippines and work somewhere else and you want to send money, you basically use a remittance company, right? These are people that do not have banks. They just don't have banks. Banks won't allow them to even have a bank account. They're anti-bank. In fact, they're the proponents of crypto. So we signed an NDA with them, or we're working on a small pilot program that eventually will start so that we can facilitate their business model. Next slide. We've also signed an NDA with a very, very big bank in Asia. Yeah. You know, the thing about the bank in Germany is we know that we've got Europe covered, but you have to make sure that you have to have your bases covered in different parts of the world. So that's why we're doing something in Asia. So for example, in Token Gig, if you're a Filipino, Malaysian, Indonesian, and you want to collect crypto and you want to be able to convert it into fiat because you still got to pay your bills, you got to have that infrastructure there. If WEG Bank can't do it, you got to find out how that works. And eventually we'll start to look for somebody in the US, etc., etc. Africa. I mean, this is a global thing. This is not just one area that we're focusing on. We're also negotiating right now with the top 20 university to accept TokenPay to pay for tuition. So this university is, basically top 20 in the United States. They have about 50-something thousand students nationwide. And to me, it's actually, a good thing. I think students, especially international students that want to go to school, I don't know if you know, but international students in the States, they pay 4 times, 5 times what an actual regular student actually pays if it's not a private school. If they go to a public school student will pay maybe $10,000 a year. An international student will probably pay 2 times or 3 times that. But with crypto, they're able to transfer it easily, and probably a lot of for example, Chinese and Japanese have plenty of crypto, so they'll be able to go to universities a lot more affordable than they ever have before. And the last deal that we kind of announced, we have definitely a strong interest from an actual financial, very large asset management firm in Liechtenstein. Liechtenstein is actually, close to Switzerland. They're kind of cousins. What's starting to happen is TokenPay is going out there, and once they start to see all the deals that we're making, people are now starting to approach us as the agent of change. That's extremely important. And that's perfect. Why is that perfect? Because when we introduce solutions, TokenPay and Verge will always be at the forefront of every single change that we incur. That's the whole purpose of all of this. Keep on being the agent of change. All right? All right, so that basically concludes my presentation. Again, if you're looking for a job and you can kick ass and work hard, send me an email. All right? Thanks a lot for your time, guys.
So, Derek, thanks for that. All questions you guys have for Derek, you can ask that during the Q&A. I want to now look for Justin. There he is. Give it up for our lead dev, the founder of Verge.
Hey, everybody. So I didn't plan a presentation. I'm a pretty informal guy, as a lot of you probably already know. I like to just kind of jump into stuff head first and see where it goes. And the most important part of what I'd like to do while I'm up here is, instead of just spoon feed you information that you might have already heard me say, I want your questions. We're going to be doing a Q&A after this, me and Derek, but I want to know what you guys need answers to. So I'm going to start off, try to give you guys some information that maybe you don't know, and some of the more hot questions that I've heard. First of all, there's no questions that are off limits. You guys can ask me anything you want. I don't take offense easily, as most of you already know, otherwise I probably wouldn't even be here. So, nothing's going to bother me. You can ask me anything you want. If you want to start talking about my life when I was in my early 20s, I don't care. But other people might not want to hear about it, But anyway, so as you guys know, I'm Justin. I founded Verge in 2014. Got into crypto 2011. It's been a really wild ride. I never thought that, just a few years later, I'd be sitting on a boat in Amsterdam with a couple hundred people staring at me. Got to give a big thanks to my girl Cheyenne for dealing with me sitting on the computer. I can't imagine how she puts up with how long I sit on the computer. I mean, I know a lot of you guys are nerds like me, and there's times where I've sat in the chair for 2 days straight. She has to remind me to eat sometimes. So I might be dead if it wasn't for her. Sitting in my computer chair, a skeleton. So I guess I'm going to probably just kind of jump all around as the questions that I've heard today come to me, and then we'll go into the Q&A after that. One of them is RSK. So I actually started communicating directly with RSK. Originally, my plan was to just start cloning their software and building it out for Verge. They actually reached out to me a couple of weeks ago, and we started a dialogue. And so now I'm working with their testnet. And the plan is to go full-blown RSK sidechain for Verge. So when, I don't know. I'm not a hard date guy, as everybody in this room already knows. My answer for all that stuff is as soon as I can possibly make it happen. That's the goal. I want to get these things done. In the first year of Verge, in the first couple of months, I built probably 10 or 12 different applications for Verge. I didn't stop. It was so addicting. I was like, this is so much fun. And I was making no money at all. But I was in Bitcoin and I was doing okay. And I decided, why not invest myself into myself and into, something I believe in, what I want to do. So RSK is coming soon. I'm already working with their testnet, and I have open communication with their team. And it's a really exciting project. For those of you that don't know about RSK is probably the most secure smart contract platform. We're basically going to be running a chain alongside of our own blockchain with a token that's pegged to Verge. So one of these will equal one Verge. Same concept, and we'll have full smart contract capability. So far, it's pretty easy, and they've documented it really well. And at some point, I'm sure I'll be helping TokenPay, get those smart contracts going as well. Once I become familiar with them myself. It's not something that you just flick a switch. This is all new technology. So people say to me, Justin, why don't you just hire somebody to do this for you? Well, it just came out. There's nobody out there that knows how to do it. We're all, you know what I mean? RSK knows how to do it because they made it. So we're one of the first. I'm one of the first people working on the technology and building it out and making it happen. This isn't stuff that you can just hire a guy online and say, hey, build me this. It doesn't work like that, unfortunately. So RSK is definitely coming. We started working on their testnet about a week ago. We started communication with them about 2 weeks ago. And it's really cool because they're really nice guys. And I don't know how they're funded, but it's awesome because they respond right away when I send them an email. Like, it's really awesome. So, and it's really nice that they actually reached out to me. I was, really honored and humbled by that because they're a huge company and their main priority was making smart contracts happen like Ethereum for Bitcoin. So I'm like, oh my God, you guys reached out to me? Oh, so it's exciting stuff. I'm trying to remember some of the other questions. If anybody has a question while I'm talking about something I'm talking about, just raise your hand. And, feel free to ask me whatever. So as you guys know, we had obviously 2 mining exploits happen within the last 2 months, which was crazy. Because what I started doing about 2 months ago was I started rewriting our entire code base. Because Verge started evolving so quickly that it kind of became like a Frankenstein. We went from script algorithm to multi-algorithm. And it wasn't, we didn't copy Myriad Coin or Digibyte's multi-algorithm. We just kind of made our own.
We have about 200 people watching here also live. And they want to know, will Verge be at POS one day?
I haven't ruled that out, but that's something that I wouldn't just do that on my own. With everything Verge, when it comes to big decisions like that, I need the community's input. I'll never make a decision like that by myself and just say, hey guys, I'm making Verge proof of stake. There's a huge debate between proof of work and proof of stake. They're two completely different ideologies. One half, the argument against POS is that it makes the rich richer. And to some degree that's true, but it's also a much greener, more efficient way of running a blockchain, which is something that I agree with. So if we can find a happy medium, which, there's always a happy medium. There's always a compromise in every situation, every conflict. There's always a happy compromise for both parties.
Another question, what about the atomic swap?
We have atomic swap capability now. We just haven't built out an app that actually does that for you, but we have the capability. So that'll be even more obvious in our next code base release. We probably have 75–80% of it done. We're basically rewriting the entire code, like I said, for Verge, and we're basing it on the newest Bitcoin code. So we're basically taking the newest Bitcoin, ripping out SHA. We put in multi-algorithm. We added the stealth features. We're building in Tor. Tor is now a submodule in our source code, so we're actually working directly from the newest Tor source code all the time. So atomic swaps is definitely going to be happening. We haven't decided who will be. Maybe we'll start building atomic swaps and do the first atomic swap with TokenPay. That'd be fun.
Another question.
So if you would be so kind to stand up.
Yes.
So everyone can see.
Hey guys, I have here more than 200 people live streaming with us.
It's another boat.
They can hear us. And everybody asked us, when are we going to the moon? And I said, we are on a boat, so we're not going to the moon. But the question, they also asked, are there any other partners lined up right now? Are any other partnerships?
Yeah, I'm in the same position as Derek generally, where some partnerships are really simple. They say, hey, we want to accept the coin. We want to make this happen. Help us market, help us, put out some tweets and stuff and get us some attention. Sure, that's no problem. Other big corporations, like Derek mentioned earlier, are nervous. This is something new to them. They've accepted, euros, US dollars, their entire, lifespan of their organization or company, and it scares them. A lot of them don't realize that you can settle out for fiat at, a certain price, and the volatility of the crypto market itself is not going to affect them. A lot of people are like, oh, what if they're paying us Verge and it's worth 10 cents, and then by the time we bring it to the market, it's 7 cents. The tools that we have already and the tools that, Derek's team are working on settle out at the current price. They're not going to, the volatility isn't there. Volatility only affects day traders and people like that. That's not how it works in a merchant platform. Otherwise, it wouldn't even be viable and it wouldn't exist today. Nobody would use that. So it's a good question. A lot of people want to know about that kind of stuff. Partnerships, we have a lot of other partnerships in the works. We have like three NDAs in place. So as soon as that stuff's happened and I can tell everybody, I will be more than happy to tell everybody.
There are also other people maybe you want to ask questions, because I have like 200 people asking me so many questions. It's really wonderful. But another question is about the ledger. What's the status of the ledger? And the other question is the schedule. What's the schedule for the iOS app? Because we are waiting for it.
Okay, so that's two questions. Let me start with the first, the ledger situation. So Ledger hired a new CFO, I think late last year. So I'm just going to give you guys the whole Ledger rundown from the beginning because there was a lot of drama about it. And most of it just stems out of everybody being impatient. So we sent a letter probably mid last year, an email to Ledger and said, hey, we want Verge on Ledger. So they responded with a price quote. They sent us an email. Their new CFO didn't know that. So when he joined the company, he wasn't familiar with any of that kind of stuff. So he went and said, oh, we never received any communication from Verge. Yes, you did. And why are you a CFO answering questions on Twitter? Stick to finances. Engineers, that's an engineer's job or a PR job. So I ended up talking to Ledger. Our partner MindGeek actually met with the Ledger people in New York at the TOKENSUISSE conference and kind of lit a little fire under them and said, hey, we're trying to get Verge on Ledger. They're one of our partners and we want to make that happen. So, of course, right after Consensus Weekend, I got an email from Ledger saying, hey, what do we need to do? Let's make this happen. I said, I tried to make this happen with you guys. Your CFO is telling everybody online that we never even communicated with you. So it was just a big misunderstanding. And people in crypto, you guys know, some of you might be very impatient yourselves. As soon as we announce a partnership, what we decided from now on is that we're not going to mention anything about a partnership or some of the things that we're doing until we're ready to just do them and release them. Because people just get so crazy, especially on crypto Twitter, where, as soon as we say, hey, we're going to work on Ledger, people are like hounding Ledger. When Verge? When Verge? It's like, guys, relax. We're on top of it. Like, be patient, crypto is still a baby right now. And like I said before, this is all new technology. This isn't something that you can just say, hey, make this happen. It doesn't work like that. There's not a lot of blockchain developers. Every blockchain developer I know is like over their head in work. It's insane. The blockchain space is growing so fast. Regardless of the market volatility. Guys like me, we don't even look at that kind of stuff. We don't even have time for it. I don't have time to day trade. I don't have time to look at the market. And I don't care if it goes up or down 10% in a day or 20%. It doesn't matter to me. So Ledger is going to happen. I submitted the pull request. I did the code like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, something like that. Submitted the code, did a pull request, sent them an email. So now I'm just waiting to hear back. They're not just going to pump out updates just because they added Verge. So I'm hoping that, whenever they release their next update for the Ledger Nano, that Verge is in it. So that's where we're at with Ledger. What was the second question?
The second question was about the app. So when is the Verge wallet be ready for Apple,
iOS.
for the iOS?
Okay, that's a good question. So I am not going to pretend that I am an Xcode developer. I know Android very well. I'm not an Xcode guy. However, a few of us on the Verge team have started looking at, Bitcoin wallets for iOS 6 months ago probably, and we went down the entire list. What we're probably going to do for iOS is go with the Bread wallet, since it's considered the most secure for Bitcoin. And I'm going to actually be building out the back end because that doesn't require Xcode or iOS knowledge. It mostly relies on most of you guys know who BitPay is, right? So BitPay makes Insight API, and I actually had built it once for Verge, but it's changed a lot since. So I'm going to update it again and make the API for Verge. And then some of the guys on the team are pretty confident that as long as I can build this API, which I know I can do, they'll be able to do the wallet itself. And we have awesome front end guys, like Wavion is one of them. Martme is another who couldn't make it here. But so I'm pretty confident that between what I can do, make the back end work, they can make the rest of it work.
It'll be this year.
This year? Yeah. Yeah, it'll be this year. Yeah. So I hope that makes everybody happy. Yeah. All right, Derek's going to come up here. We're going to do a Q&A. So.
You guys want to sit down, stand up, or stand?
Yeah, we'll stand.
Okay.
Woo!
So who has a question? Please raise your hand. And then, okay, I'll come to you.
Oh, thanks, man.
And please state your name and
By the way,
your
guys,
question.
I love Amsterdam. This city is awesome. it's really rare, like especially I know a lot of you guys have been to America. You don't come to a major city in America and everybody is super polite. It's just awkward. So it's like everybody here has been so nice and like so pleasant, and it's weird to see that in like a huge metro area like that. It's really awesome. You guys have a great culture.
I agree with you, Justin. So my name is Ryan Hadich. XVG whale right there is my boyfriend.
I know you.
Yes. Justin and I and Peter met in Florida over Christmas and had a really lovely visit. But my question for you is, I am an award-winning winemaker, and I am opening a winery in the Cleveland, Ohio area. Oh. And as someone who is relatively new to crypto, I've only been involved for, I don't know, 16, 18 months. How would I start accepting XVG in my winery?
That's a good question, and I think I can help you answer that. And you can also accept TokenPay at the same time. It really depends on what website platform you're using. If you're going to be shipping internationally, which I'm guessing you're going to be shipping to anybody that wants to buy, as most people do, you could use Coin Payments. Coin Payments has plugins for like almost every single platform, and now they even have Shopify in beta. Which I've heard, it's back and forth. It's pretty sturdy. Still has a couple bugs here and there, but it's not bugs that are going to affect the merchant or even the buyer. They're just little weird back end quirks. But all of their stuff other than the Shopify is like flawless. I've never had any issues with it. And if you're using Shopify, I would try their beta. It's better than not accepting crypto. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say that one of the fastest ways to do it is actually to download the Verge paper wallet. And when you generate the actual paper wallet, there's a QR code. If you want, you just put that on your website and say, I'm really expecting Verge. Have the QR code and the public address, and then you'll just receive it when you're receiving that transaction. The person will be able to confirm that's the transaction that I paid for, etc. Yeah. That's probably the fastest, easiest way that you're not going to need kind of like a middleman, right?
The only issue with that, though, is you might run into the settlement thing with the volatility.
Right.
So the best solution is using like a plugin.
Right.
But second best, if you want to be a holder,
right.
Put up the QR code and just say send it to me and let me know your transaction ID.
Right. That's correct. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Hello, Justin. My name is Eric. Can you elaborate on how marketing is done? As it seems that everybody is doing many good things, but sometimes there's a lack of structure behind the efforts. So can you explain the roles and responsibilities in marketing and the go-to-market strategy?
Sure. That became obvious to us a couple of months ago, which is why we recently updated our website and kind of put the team members' names and their positions up. But with like any grassroots thing, teamwork isn't really an issue, but it's communication. A lot of us are fans of not having a structure, and not, none of us are suit guys, none of us, we're not a company, so the fact that it's all volunteers and the fact that we all put our free time into it, sometimes communication is tough, but that's something that we're constantly improving. Recently, we revamp the organization all the time, and it happens frequently, but I do think that the marketing team for Verge overall is becoming like a well-oiled machine versus, a year ago it was just bonkers, and it was like, I'm handling marketing stuff while I'm trying to do code, and, Crypto Rect is doing the same thing where he's like doing marketing stuff, and then, all of a sudden we're getting like all these incoming emails, and then we're all trying to figure out who handles what, and then some of us realize that we're working on the same thing. But yeah, it's getting better and better. It's just one of those things that, evolves over time. And I have no background in marketing, no background in business. I'm a developer. That's what I do. So it's a grassroots thing. We're not a big organization. We didn't do an ICO. It's working with a team of volunteers. I'm just happy that anybody puts any of their time into it. But like I said, it's something that we're constantly improving. A lot of the marketing guys are here right now. Deanie obviously knows what she's doing. She put this event together with the rest of the team and came out really good. It's something that we're constantly improving, and we're obviously always open to feedback. Just try not to scream at us. But yeah, any other questions? I know you had some other questions too, so if you want to go ahead.
So what is the status on the MindGeek Pornhub deal? So after the initial push, we're not seeing new promotional activities. So can you elaborate a little bit?
They actually have been, okay, so our partnership was with MindGeek. The first thing, I kind of talked to them and I said, guys, I don't want Verge to become known as just like the porn coin. A lot of coins have actually come out and said, we want to be the porn coin. That's not Verge's role. Verge is just a privacy-based blockchain, and we want to be the everything coin. So our deal with MindGeek was to say, let's not just release a million pornography sites that accept Verge at once. Let's do it every couple of weeks to kind of keep the momentum going. And as you guys probably know, they own a lot of very high traffic sites. So they've been rolling out integration every 2 or 3 weeks with a new site. So they started with Pornhub, then they did Brazzers, then they did... how
many websites in total? Was it like in total?
Like 50. I think they own about 50 sites.
They've
all top.
They've only done like 5 Verge, right?
Yeah. So they did Pornhub. Like a week or two later, they did Brazzers. A week or two later, they did Traffic Junkie. Yeah. Traffic Junkie is the largest banner ad company on the entire internet, regardless of its specific use case network. It's the largest. Like I've said in interviews before, a double-digit percentage of the entire planet uses sites that MindGeek owns. So it's huge. It's a much bigger deal than most people can probably understand. And it's not something that's just going to make Verge explode to become $100 overnight. And, that's not my intention. My intention is never to just sit here and, hype you guys up and, get you all excited about something. I just want to give you the information, let you guys know what I'm up to. And, my biggest thing is, like, I actually yelled at, I'm not going to name names, but about 6 months ago, I yelled at somebody for a tweet that they posted. And I said, this tweet has no substance. You can't just tell everybody, hey guys, exciting stuff's happening. And that's it. That's not what I like. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that do that, and that's their entire business model. But that's not stuff that I like. I don't like to hype people up and get them overexcited. I like to have concrete information, solidified, software, and say, hey, look, this is what we did now. Sometimes I'm a little bit too friendly, a little too open in our chats. I like to be around the community. As you guys know, I'm like always in one of the chat rooms. Lately, it's been Discord more than Telegram because Telegram just has so many people in it. It's crazy. I say hello, and then it's like... And then I'm like scrolling up, and I'm like, I've only gone up like 2 minutes into the past, and I'm like, oh, this is crazy. So I'm in Discord a lot more than I am on Telegram lately.
Not anymore.
Sometimes I'm a little bit too friendly, a little too open. So I talk to people, and I like to tell them what's going on. Next thing I know, if I gave a subtle hint of something I'm doing, it's like screen capped and all over Twitter. It's crazy. But I mean, I guess I like it. It's cool.
Justin, what are your plans going forward to attract more and new people into the community in order to grow further adoption?
Probably to keep continuing to let people know like why and how we started, and to remind people that this is a true, open, fair thing that we've built. Anybody can step in. You can step in and become part of our marketing team. I know that we spoke earlier, and you have a lot of great ideas. Anybody in this room can be a part of this. You can join TokenPay, like Derek said. You can join Verge. I know that you guys probably all trade and you probably all are invested in crypto, and a lot of you are probably, work in crypto to some degree. But for those of you that don't know, I mean, you can jump into any project. There's no project out there that you like that's going to say, no, get away from us. Anybody out there is going to be more than happy to have you on board and helping them spread the message. And really, that's what it is. It's the two things that are going to push crypto forward are going to be adoption and people like Derek that are working with banks, because I'm sure a lot of us don't like banks. I mean, I hate banks, especially after 2008. I had a lot of friends and family, even in the United States, that lost their houses, and it was bullshit. And the banks got bailed out. And then they got to keep the fucking houses. It's fucked up.
One question for Dennis.
Okay.
So, what can you tell about the finish of this meeting day? Because everybody... Yeah. Thank you very much. I'm from Macedonia. My name is Ljubomir Josifovski. Yeah. I'd like to ask you something that probably nobody want to. What do you think that you wanted to suggest to this crowd to tell something? That's what would you mean? You understand me? There's something that is from your heart as you speak on the YouTube or whatever, on Twitter or whatever. I just want to listen your message about to this crowd and to these people who are online also, and all to these coins man.
Yeah.
What do you suggest?
Yeah, I think the general message is obviously, you know, partnerships are extremely important. I think that's very key. You know, having a community like what Verge has built over the past, you know, few years is extremely important. And I think to take that to the next level, it's networking. Networking is a real legitimate thing. And everybody has a connection with something or someone that can help adopt what we're trying to accomplish, right? And that's exactly how we can take this to the next level, right? So the more we help each other, the more we can adopt both TokenPay and Verge, the more we can all succeed on every single facet that you have in your mind, okay?
One quick thing that I want to add is, you know, I just mentioned that I absolutely hate banks. I completely despise them. Raise your hand if you don't like banks. Okay. So when I first talked to Derek about what he was working on, he said, well, you know, I want to work with in the blockchain space and, you know, build it into a bank. And I said, what? I don't want to work with you. He said, no, you don't get it. I want to actually become a holder of a bank and start making banks work for crypto. And I said, oh, well, that sounds kind of interesting. So.
The question I'm interested in, how about the hacks? It's a real point for the confidence in Verge.
Right,
how do you look at it?
Yeah, so like what I was saying is a couple of months ago, I started completely rewriting our entire code base. And while I was doing that, the first exploit happened. So I said, okay, well, I need to change the drift, and I need to change how the algorithms are accepted. You know, we can't, because this was just script, the exploit, the first one. So our patch was, I changed the difficulty, I changed the drift time, and I changed only allowing 5 blocks in a row of the same algorithm. So then I went back to start working on the new code base, and it fucking happened again. And I was like, shit, sucks. So the patch and what's really kills me is that in the first patch, I had actually changed the drift, and then for some reason, it reverted when I put the 5 algos max, and so now I changed, reverted the drift. That same attack cannot happen again. It is possible that some sort of mutant evolving thing of that can happen, but see, the thing is not with a 5-minute or 10-minute drift. That's going to solve these attacks, and I believe that I've bought myself plenty of time to finish this new code base. And with the new code base, this kind of attack or something even similar is not possible. I like your shirt too, by the way.
Yeah, just about to say.
Hello, yeah, my name's Jordan Cork, I'm from the UK. I was just going to ask Derek, you are looking at getting into Asia. Do you have any plans of getting into Africa? Because that has one of the largest portions of unbanked people in the world as well.
My email, team@tokenpay.com. Yeah, absolutely. Africa is a huge market. We're actually talking to, in fact, I have no really good guy in South Africa that has an exchange and lead dev of a few coins that are actually privacy focused as well. So, we're definitely going in there. It's just, we have to know people. If you've got connections, then let me know, man.
I don't, unfortunately. I was just going to ask.
You say that, but you know what? I've emailed the CEO of GoDaddy about a fight about something. I've emailed the CEO of Bank of America when I had a problem. Do not limit yourself to what you can do, okay? You go in.
I'll give you an email, Derek.
Any more questions, please?
I'm Anwar, Vert Jaguar. He's like, yeah. All I want to say, every time we get a hack, we just get stronger.
Exactly.
I promise you, every time we get hacked, we just get free advertising, and Justin is going to fix it. That's all I want to say.
Hey. And on that note, there's a reason why we get targeted, and it's because we're big.
Yeah.
We have one of the biggest communities.
Yeah,
and let's not pretend that Bitcoin and Ethereum haven't had similar exploits happen. Almost every top coin has. Yeah. It's just that some people are better at sweeping it under the rug than others.
They're jealous.
One thing that I have been using as an analogy a lot lately too, when people ask me about that kind of stuff, they say, well, when do you think Verge will be done? And I say, well, I don't think it's ever going to be done. You have a Windows computer at home, how often do you get updates? Do you know why you get those updates? Because Windows is not done. There's problems, and they need to be fixed all the time.
So you're talking about changing the code base, and my name is Peter, on Twitter as XVG Whale Reel, and so you're talking about how you're changing the code base, and so in the name of decentralization and open source sort of thing, my friend Michael came a long way from Hong Kong for this this meetup, and we've been working on a hard wallet project and also an iOS wallet project, a local wallet for all iOS and Android. And we found some networks with some developers that I found through Twitter, and we would like to work with the core team on to coordinate, because they were basing it on the current code base rather than so. Okay. What's the best way if people that are working on their own stuff privately and want to sorry, I wasn't speaking into the thing. But anyway, what's the best way that they can coordinate with the core team or join the core team so that we can all be on the similar page and make that stuff happen? Well, I know that you have my phone number and my email, but for the developers, I would say give them my email. Are they native English speakers? Not all of them. No? Yeah, yeah. What language? Well, in China speaks Chinese. Michael speaks Chinese and English, so he translates. I know a guy that knows some Chinese. Yeah. Maybe he can help. Yeah, but there's another guy from Norway that wanted to be here, but he speaks English also, and others speak English. And then, yes, but all right. Well, I'll give you a call. Thanks. On the note too, before we step off stage or anything, one thing that I have to tell all of you that I think is the most important thing for you at this event is that you talk to other people here, because one of the most important things I think that we can do as a human species is to gather about things that we all believe in and talk to each other.
So one final question. Just give me a second.
Thanks. Hi, I'm Luigi from Holland. I've got a question for Justin. Sure. Yeah, really nice deal with MindGeek and Traffic Junkie. I had a question. I was looking at the website of Traffic Junkie, and if I'm a publisher or advertiser and I see the payment options, I don't see Verge there yet. No? Yeah, so like on the actual. Yeah, like the debit card, credit card. Yeah, I know it's not. Yeah, that's more the Traffic Junkie thing to do. But I think it's nice if you're an advertiser or a publisher that you see the options as well on Traffic Junkie side. Right. It's like, hey, wait, I can also pay or get money. As a customer, I like when I check out, with an online shopping cart, I like to see my options before I even get to the, to the checkout. So I agree. I'll send them an email. I mean, I have all of the, the officers' numbers. So I mean, I'll talk to them and say, hey. Cool. So yeah. Thanks. But Traffic Junkie is huge. It's crazy. Yeah, that's why. So I thought if I'm a publisher or whatever, it would be nice to see it there as well. When I went to MindGeek's headquarters a few months before we made the announcement, I was really, really blown away by the demographics. I mean, people think that like Facebook and Google are big. 12% internet. Yeah, it's so huge. Yeah. It's mind-blowing. Yeah. So it would be cool Verge there as well as payment option. Oh, absolutely, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, I'll write them a letter about the Traffic Junkie thing. Thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah, so guys, I have to apologize because I said last question, but I also said that people came from all around the world, and this lady just flew in from Japan to be here. Wow. So she has the honor to have the last question.
Hi, my name is Mari. I'm from Japan with my friends, and I will have a question. There's some big fans, what you call it, a user group in Japan too. And how do they work with you or collaborate? And I want to help, we want to collaborate with you to make it more friendly with Japanese people, because most of Japanese people, don't understand English or they kind of hesitated. But if we can work together.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, that's definitely one of our goals. I mean, for a while, some of you have been in like our Telegram or our Discord chats, and my first priority was making channels for every single country so that everybody could find other people that are native, speak their native tongue and, talk about stuff. Because there's always people that only speak that language, but then there's always somebody in those rooms that can also speak English or also speak, Spanish or something else that, and they're able to relay the messages. But yeah, of course, we'll absolutely help Japan grow, and get a Verge community going.
Okay, thank you.
Of course.
So, Justin and Derek, thank you very much for being here and taking the time. And I would like to give the mic to Dini.
Thanks. So guys, first of all, it's kind of cheesy, but since Verge is an open source community thing, we are all Verge. But I want to give a shout out to my team members who are here, which actually work a lot to do this thing. Besides having jobs and actual paid things, we do this for free with a lot of love. Please, guys, don't kill me if I forget somebody, but Rondo, Alex, Mikael, Hassan, Ernst, Arjen, Roger, Arendt, Fenty, Arbu, Willem, Dutch Chris, where are you? Stan Fastman, where are you? Get over here, team. Akashiro. And also I want to give a shout out to my teammates that couldn't make it. Chris Chase, Crypto Wrecked. I mean, guys, Green Ants, Marbme, Witsec, CC66. Who am I forgetting, Dev? Help me. Everybody, thanks. It's an amazing journey, and we love to be a part of it. So let's get this thing to, obviously I'm gonna let you. So thanks for being here today, and there's going to be food afterwards and drinks. So let's enjoy the night together. Let's end it with some words from Justin.
Since we got here yesterday, me and my woman, I think every 15, 20 minutes we've said we have to come back here. This place is so awesome. But we are going to plan another Verge meetup stateside, and it's probably going to be in Miami, just an FYI, so I'm going to make you guys come to my area. Hopefully I see a lot of you guys out there. And thank you all so much for coming. This totally blows my mind.
Enjoy the party.